What about Dick? We can get away with Dick, can't we? We can't say Dick?
I thought we were Adult Swim. Who's in charge of these rules? How about penis? Can we say penis?
Hey, this is like right up my alley.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out.
Adult Swim is an icon of late-night programming. This block has provided some of the most unique content you can find on television. As of this recording, they just had their annual April Fool's event, and I don't think I'm alone in saying it might be their best one yet. It does have me thinking, though. How did we get here? We have what is essentially a channel within a channel, one that's managed to make The Room something to behold each time they've aired it.
So you've been watching now The Room. What do you think? Maybe you know.
I think it sucks.
This is because Adult Swim is more than just the shows it airs. It's a home for creativity as a whole. That is, when it's allowed to be. While, yes, the parent company of Adult Swim, Warner Brothers Discovery, seems persistent on being a constant reminder of how bleak the world can be, Adult Swim still continues to be a surreal and hilariously morbid form of escapism.
That tree, go on. Really? So long, weirdo. Dad! Oh, hey! He was telling the truth. Yummy! Cool.
In this video, I'd like to take you back to where that all started, as well as some time after, because that's the requirement of my school assignment. So strap in for a rundown of Adult Swim from 1993 to 2009. From schedule changes to significant events within the block's run, it's all here.
No kids in the pool. All kids under 17 out for Adult Swim.
The Flintstones will return.
In order to explain the creation of this block of programming, we must first venture back to the year 1993. The year after Cartoon Network launched. As many know, the channel started out as just the place to rerun the classic library of cartoons that Ted Turner had amassed. At this point, there was no original programming coming out of the network. This would all change, of course, when head of original programming, Mike Laszlo, was tasked to create something new for the network, this being Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Hello, I am Space Ghost. Welcome to my show.
While not the first exclusive program to the channel, it was the first produced by it, and they produced it for as cheap as they could. Coast to Coast was made by reusing animation from the original 1966 Space Ghost series and combining it with live-action interviews.
How many clouds does Earth have? You know, son, if you were a paramedic, people would be dead already.
Next question.
This bizarre production came about because of the lack of funds the network was given for new programming. Upon its release, Coast to Coast was, and maybe still is, arguably the most experimental late-night talk show. The show marked a lot of firsts for the network. Most importantly, at least in regards to this video, it established an older audience for the network. In the late 90s, Cartoon Network would produce several more new takes on classic tunes for older audiences. While these all ranged in success, they would continue the channel's attempts in producing content appealing to a more mature crowd. The word mature, of course, being up for interpretation. At the turn of the millennium, Laszlo with his production company Williams Street, formerly known as Ghost Planet Industries, would produce several new pilots. On December 21st and December 30th, between the hours of 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., with no prior announcement, the world would be introduced to the likes of Aqua Teen Hunger Force,
What happened to my freaking car?
The Brack Show,
Hello, Mike.
Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law,
Scotch.
Stan, they're 11.
Right.
and C-Lab 2021.
People, nothing makes Howlin' Mad more mad than fatties.
During the creation of these series, it occurred to Laszlo that there was potential in bundling them together under a single block. Names such as Parental Block and Parental Warning were considered, though they eventually landed on Adult Swim.
Parents strongly caution the following programs are intended for mature
Come
audiences.
September 2nd, 2001, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Adult Swim would make its debut with newly acquired show, Home Movies, the anime Cowboy Bebop, alongside Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and the shows that they had shadow dropped that previous December, minus Aqua Teen, which would eventually join the lineup 7 days later. At first, the block would air Sundays from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Time, with repeated blocks on Thursdays. Each time the block aired, there was a warning prior letting viewers know what kind of programming was ahead of them, likely sending any child watching into a mad dash to find the remote. This era of the block was defined by a logo with all capital red letters and bumpers containing elderly people swimming with the sound of a lifeguard, as well as visual signs letting audiences know the contents of the shows within the block.
Every Saturday night.
February 21st, 2002 would mark the day in which Adult Swim lost its Thursday airtime. However, 2 days later the block would branch out to Saturdays with Adult Swim Action. This lineup included various anime and would run during the same hours as its Sunday counterpart. This date would also mark the block's adoption of a new logo, one that swapped the red capital letters with lowercase black ones. December 31st, 2002, Adult Swim aired for the first time on a Tuesday, from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., when Brack from The Bragg Show and Carl from the Aqua team hosted a New Year's Eve special. On May 25th, 2003, Adult Swim would adopt the logo we all know them for now. The logo was changed to a horizontal format with brackets added to each end, all within a new font that I'm not going to try and pronounce, so here it is.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at 11 on Cartoon Network. Yeah!
In these early years, Adult Swim would become the home for reruns of cartoons canceled prematurely by other networks. Notably, 2 Fox series, Futurama and Family Guy, would join this group of reruns, with the series making their debuts on the network January and March of 2003.
Sunday on Adult Swim.
The two would find great success on the block, with Family Guy specifically becoming the block's highest-rated programming, benefiting Cartoon Network's viewership as a whole. More on these 2 series later. April 1st of 2004 would mark the beginning of Adult Swim's most well-known yearly event, their April Fool's Day stunts. This first year's event was a night of regular programming with the twist of mustaches drawn on the characters. The next night, the same episodes would air, but without the mustaches. Alright, prepare for a lot of programming changes. Adult Swim eventually began airing 5 nights a week, starting January 13th, 2003. Dropping Saturdays, the block would now run Sundays through Thursdays from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eventually, Friday would be the only day in which the block did not air, as they reclaimed Saturday nights starting April 17th, 2004. The block would gain an extra hour now, ending at 6 a.m. starting March 28th, 2005. October 2nd the same year, the block would begin airing at 10 p.m. again, only on Sundays though. On March 27th of 2006, the block's weekday airings would begin at 10:30 Eastern Time. Remember the 2 Fox series I just told you about a bit ago?
America, you asked for it. I'm the king of the world!
As it turns out, airing the 2 turned out to be just as beneficial to the series themselves as it was for the network. In 2004, Fox would announce it was reviving Family Guy, this being credited to high DVD sales as well as the popularity it had garnered through airing on Adult Swim.
Me?
Futurama would receive the same fate in 2006, with straight-to-DVD specials produced by Fox, as well as a full series revival by Comedy Central. 2007 would be kind of a big year for the block, marking many changes and events. On January 31st, in what is one of my favorite media stunts, Adult Swim would be caught in the middle of a bomb scare. Yes, you heard me correctly, a bomb scare. As part of promotion for Aqua Teen Hunger Force : movie film for theaters, light brights of the Moon and Night characters were placed across major cities in the US. Unfortunately for Adult Swim, a Boston resident would mistake one of these devices as a bomb and reported it to the Boston Fire Department, causing the city to turn into a panic. The Boston city wanted money to pay for the cost of responding to the whole ordeal. On February 5th, it was announced that Turner Broadcasting and the Boston city had reached an agreement of $2 million. 4 days later, Vice President of Cartoon Network at the time, Jim Staples, would resign. This event was originally intended to be parodied in a Season 5 episode of the show Aqua Teen, but was later scrapped in fear of causing more issues with Boston. However, early versions of this episode do exist online, and Ignick Knocked from the episode is still featured on the packaging for the Volume 5 DVD. In less panic-causing matters, the film's promotion was also part of this year's April Fool's Day event. Promotions stated that the film would premiere on the network in its entirety, and I mean it did. The first 5 minutes of the film played as expected, but was then muted with the rest of the film airing in the bottom corner over regular programming. The film would make its nationwide debut in theaters April 13th, 2007, making $5.5 million on a budget of $750,000. Now back to everyone's favorite topic, schedule changes. Starting July 6th, Adult Swim would finally move to 7 nights a week, finally taking up the Friday night slot. Capping off the year, Futurama would make its departure from Adult Swim. ending its run on the block with marathons from December 27th to December 30th, with its final airings on the network being New Year's Eve of 2007. I guess in an almost soul for a soul kind of way, Adult Swim would begin airing another Fox program on January 1st, 2009, this being King of the Hill. This would be the opener for the block with the new 10 p.m. time slot the block had claimed that past December. The block would have another scheduling change, gaining the 9 p.m. time slot starting December 27th of 2010, thus bringing us to the Adult Swim I remember, as well as a stopping point for this video. A bit of an awkward cutoff, I know, but my assignment was to cover something between the 90s and the 2000s. I apologize if the pacing or certain other aspects of the video are a bit awkward, as this is my first time at a video like this. Hopefully in the future I won't be held back by certain assignment requirements, but we'll see. All of my sources are listed in the description below, with a majority of it coming from Wikipedia. I mean, hey, I guess I saved you some reading, unless you're someone like me who likes reading Wikipedia in school when they're bored. Honestly, I would totally recommend looking more into almost anything I mentioned within this video, as I've really only scratched the surface on these topics. Here are some videos I'll link below that'll scratch the itch for just some more information about Adult Swim and its content. I hope you all found something out of this video that you liked, and if you have some feedback, please comment below. Whether it be something with my editing or script, I'll take it all. If you also have some memories about Adult Swim or just cool information you feel like sharing, please leave those also down below. If this video gets 10 likes, yes, 10 likes, I'll do a second part covering everything from the 2010s to current day. Who knows, maybe I'll go in depth in a retrospective on each of the facets of Cartoon Network as a whole. Until then, have a good one.